everybody, Shane here with you, back from Guitar at Work, and this is Hallelujah, Leonard Cohen, and you just got to know this song for sure. There's a couple of ways we can go at it. Let's take a really standard strumming kind of thing, just a light brushy strum to get us going, and if you stick around toward the end of the video, we can talk about how you might finger pick that, just for a softer kind of sound. But first, as always, we'll start with a little campfire version of it. We'll get our chords in order here. I am capo 5, watch out for that, capo 5, he's way up there, and you might even like that because the frets are nice and close together up there. Here is a G chord. No problem there for anybody. There's a G chord, right? And the neat thing is E minor 7th that it's going to in the intro and also throughout in the verse too. E minor 7th, I'm going to leave my ring finger and pinky there and just move my middle finger down to where he'd be for an E minor. So look at that, only one finger is moving from G to an E minor 7. There are many E minor 7ths out there, but specialty one here, you'll want to definitely stick with him. Here it is again, G, and going to E minor 7, one finger's moving. Boom. And later on in the song, you are going to find a C add 9, and notice ring finger and pinky, they're staying put. There we go. And it's going to go to a D here, regular D, and back to G. Good. I'm just quickly skimming these chords so we can get to the actual strumming pattern. There's a D coming toward the end of each verse. There's a D sharp diminished 7th. Yikes, that's a mouthful, but there he is right there. That guy there. Now on his own, he sounds kind of scary, yucky. Why would you ever want to play that? But in context, remember, he's dying to go to E minor. I guess tension and release type thing. So if you're wondering if you have the right chord, if you're fingering it properly, you do. It's supposed to sound that tense, they'll call it. So there is a D sharp diminished 7th, 1st fret, 2nd fret, 1st fret, 2nd fret. It's a bit of a tangle, I know. Just a new chord, that's all. Try to add them to your repertoire. You won't actually see it very often in this kind of, or in popular music, we'll call it. It'll go from there again, as I said, to an E minor. There we go. Now in order, what do we have going on here? I'm going to give each chord 2 strums here. I'm just going to grab a pick and 2 chords. Here we go. G, 2 strums on that guy. Now E minor 7th. That's your intro. Here's a G coming. E minor 7. We do that 4 times. Here's number 3. G, E minor 7. Right, G, E minor 7. Good, now vocal comes in at that point. Now you don't have to just do downstrokes, as I'm sure you're aware. Maybe I'll try to spice that up by doing a light upstroke too. I'll go 1 and 2 and switch, E minor 7, 4. And back to G, E minor 7, boom, boom. Just strumming it for now. We'll get to the finger picking stuff in a second. E minor 7, and here's your G, E minor 7. Now vocals in at this point, we're going G, E minor 7, G coming, David played, E minor 7, and it pleased the Lord, C add 9, 2 beats, here we go. Here's a D, back to G, a quick D, and back to G again. It goes like this. Now, watch out. C add 9 and D are bracketed at that point. They only get 1 beat apiece. So on these charts, typically the brackets mean half the value of what's come before it. So I'm going to go 1 C add 9, 1 D. And so a down and up stroke would equal 1 beat. And here's an E minor coming. 1 and 2. Going to a C, regular C, not C add 9. Here's a D, the baffled king. Here's your pesky D sharp diminished 7th. I'll take you a second to figure that one out. 2 beats on that. 1 and 2. E minor right here. Hallelujah. To another E minor. There we go. Let's do a verse together slowly with all that in mind. Here it comes. Here's your G coming. Just strumming for now. 3, 4. Heard there was. E minor 7. Secret chord. Back to G. David played. E minor 7. C add 9. You don't. D, really care, G, for music do ya, and going to a D here, G coming, and goes like this, C add 9 to D, quickies, D go, E minor, 2 beats, C coming, the major lift, here's a D, the baffled king, D sharp diminished, here it is, and E minor, that's a double, stay there. we go. That brings us to our chorus section. We got a C chord, and it's twice the length here. You're seeing C written twice, so 2 counts of 2 on the C, as well as the E minor coming your way. And from the chorusy bit, 3, 4, C, hallelujah. 2, good, stay there. E minor, hallelujah. 2, 1, C again, hallelujah. 2, 3, here's a G coming, 2 beats again. G, hallelujah, D, and back to G. Now the second we hit that G at the end of each chorus, we're back to that intro vamp. I'll call it. Vamp is a sort of a repetitive figure. So it's going to go G, then E minor 7, back to G, E minor 7. Only one finger's moving. Remember that? G, E minor 7. There we go. And there we go. I believe it's 4 of those in between verses. You might only, or maybe it's 2, but maybe only do 2. If you're playing it by yourself, that's an awful lot of time to have dead air if you're not singing over top of that. So let me do a verse and a chorus. I'll just speak the words out again so you know we have some idea where we are. Here is right from the actual, sorry, from the intro, right from the intro. I'm going to do 4 counts of this vamp here. G, 3, 4, E minor 7, one finger's moving. Back to G, play along, that's it, E minor 7. 2 more. E minor 7. Here's a G. E minor 7. Okay, now first verse. Here's a G. I heard there was. E minor 7. Secret chord. Back to G. David played. E minor 7. Please the Lord. C add 9. You don't. Here's a D. Really care. And a G coming for music do ya. Here's a D. Back to G, goes like this, C add 9 to D, quickies, E minor, the minor fall, C, the major lift, here's a D coming, the baffled, King, D sharp diminished 7th, and E minor, double, hallelujah, another one, C, hallelujah, another one, E minor, hallelujah. Here's a C, hallelujah, and a G right here, hallelujah, D, and back to G, right to the vamp here, E minor 7, back to G. I'll only do that twice, and we're into another verse. All the verses are the same, so once you've got one, you've got the whole song going on there. So you might have to shut the video off at that point, and just, if any of those chords are giving you trouble, get in there. I suspect it'll be the D sharp diminished 7th because he is kind of new. If I had one little hint on that, here's a D. This is going to sound kind of funny, but here's a D, like that. I'm going to move that D. It's coming from D, right? The D sharp diminished 7th. I'll go to D. Over I go, one set of strings thicker with your D shape. I'll add the pinky that way, and I'll move the whole shape down 1. So it's not the quickest thing, but it does give you a system to get there. So that again is D. Move each of those over 1 string thicker, add the pinky, and then drag it 1 to your left. There you go. And then E minor after that. Great. So for those of you that want to do the finger picking part, let's take a look at that. You have a handwritten sheet in front of you, I hope, with a series of dots and lines, etc. And what we're looking for, I'll remind you, anything with a line going down underneath the note means it's your right hand thumb going on there. So on the G chord, I'll get this going. I'm going to go thumb here. I'll get a close-up of that for you. Thumb there. Another thumb here on the D string. That's your alternating bass. Now my first, second, third fingers are in there ready to pull the top 3 strings. That's first, second, and third string with your first, second, and third fingers in there. So far, I've got them locked in there, ready to go. I'm going to go thumb, 1, fingers will pull up and return to the D string right there with your thumb. And there's a bracketed note we'll talk about in a second after that. But for now, that'll do it. I'm going thumb, thumb, fingers, thumb, like that. Now I said I was locked in there, ready to go. You only have that luxury as you're about to begin the piece. You wouldn't want to prepare those notes throughout the pieces because you're gonna end up stopping the strings prematurely. You want them to ring as much as you can. Think of it as a piano player, a piano with the sustain pedal pressed down. So again, I'm going to go thumb, thumb, fingers, thumb, just like that. And then I'll do exactly the same thing on E minor 7. Here it is. Thumb, thumb, fingers, thumb. Now that could be your opening vamp, and that's also what happens in between the chorus and the next verse. So let me go round and round on that slowly. Here's G, thumb, thumb, fingers, thumb. One finger moves to E minor 7, thumb, thumb, fingers, thumb. There I had my hand resting. I shouldn't have done that, but I'll try it again without. I'm going to go a little quicker now. G, E minor 7, G, E minor 7, away it goes. G, E minor 7, G, E minor 7. Go. That's your opening vamp, and a lot of it already in there. The bracketed note that's in there, it's kind of an optional thing. It's an extra note, kind of fills it up. It's nice for variation once in a while. Here it is with that optional note. You'll notice it's your first finger playing the G string at that point. It's at the very end of each bar. So here it is here, main riff, right there. G, E minor, 7, G, E minor 7. Yeah, just a bit more active a pattern in there. So throw that in if you're feeling it, and you could sometimes use it and sometimes not. Completely up to you. Then we're going to get to G, E minor, C add 9. You'll see a pattern there. Now G and E minor 7 have both had one X, right? So we were so G and E minor 7 have no X's, pardon me, and so we've been able to use that low string right there. C add 9 has one X. We cannot use that guy. So our pattern, our thumb just comes right down to where he's supposed to, and he's going to play that A string. So we get thumb, thumb, fingers, thumb. I'll leave out the bracketed note again just to get that. Thumb, thumb, fingers, thumb. There's your pattern. It is the same. You're just trying to accommodate that X and start your thumb right there on the A string. So thumb, thumb, fingers, thumb. It's going to a D right here, and we're kind of running out of strings here on the right hand because there's two X's in the D chord. So your thumb is going to start here on the D string. There's a fly in here. Thumb is going to start on the D string, and first finger now plays that guy, and it's just the top two strings that you get that way, and your first finger goes back and gets that guy. Here's a slow D pattern. Thumb, first, second and third fingers play the highest strings, and you're back to your first finger. So it is basically the same pattern, except D, when you're finger picking, things tend to change because of that 2X situation. Here we go. Here's D. First finger, middle and ring, and then back to your index finger there. So let me do that a bunch of times in a row. There you go. We usually only get the one pattern in there, but just for practice sake, that is exactly the same as what's going to happen on that crazy D sharp diminished 7th chord. So same right hand pattern. I've got a D sharp diminished 7th loaded up here, and here is the same right hand pattern as what had been for D. Again. I know that sounds pretty tense, but remember, it's resolving to E minor. Good. On the E minor, in the chorusy bit and in the verse, you use the same pattern as E minor 7th, just so you know. It's all about the X's. How many X's does the chord have, and just to apply the pattern accordingly. When we have half patterns, like we have a C add 9 and a D that are bracketed in your verse section, you don't do the full pattern. You'll see that written on your handwritten sheet there, where we're just going to play on a C add 9, we play the bass note here, and then just spray those upper 3 strings, and then we go directly to the D, play his bass note, and then your top 3 strings. There we go. So that would be C add 9, D. There we go. And where's that going to take us? I'll go from the vamp and just play. I'll play a verse and a chorus through here, and we're going to edit that out because it's a spider too. Jeepers, Wild Kingdom. Let me take that through with the finger picking pattern. I'll do the intro vamp twice and then head into the verse and the chorusy bit. Here we go. So intro coming here, 3, 4, going E minor, 7, G, E minor 7. Now here's your verse. Heard there was E minor 7, secret chord. G, David played. E minor 7, please the Lord. C add 9, you don't. D, really D, G. And here's a D, G, goes like this, C add 9 to D. These are quicker use. D, E minor, minor fall, C, major lift, D, baffled, D sharp diminished 7th, E minor, hallelujah, another E minor, C, hallelujah, another C, E minor, hallelujah. Here's a C, hallelujah. And we're going to a G here, hallelujah. Here's a D, G. We're right back to the vamp here. I'll put in the bracket note. One more of those. Great. You don't have to do all 4 of those intro vamps in between verses, though sometimes there's so many verses to this, sometimes I'll do it 4 times just so I can get my head together and figure out what the next verse, try to remember the words to the next verse. It may serve you well as me, just like that. So that is Hallelujah, and I hope you'll try the finger picking version and to push you forward a little bit, but if you're not feeling ready for that, hey, it's enough work just to get those chords going on and get the sequence proper and just make sure that none of your chords are buzzing. We got a new D sharp diminished 7th in there to worry about. But an excellent song around the campfire. Everybody knows and loves it. And I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. Cheers.